Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks, welcome to the circus. This is Gun Sports Radio Show 53. And did you know, folks, that August is National Shooting Sport Month? And that's another good reason why you should be listening to us. You can also go to gunsportsradio.com. We have our own website, also facebook.com/gunsportsradio. It's all right here. And by the way, we want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all their support, located 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, working 7 days a week, 10 to 10. Go to Gun Range San Diego for everything you ever wanted to know about the place. They'll give you scheduling, when you can sign up, you can have parties. They've got classes. They've got a gunsmith there that can take care of all your gun needs, actually. And then, of course, Hollywood. And what could they do without Hollywood? Hollywood will be coming up here, I don't know, in about 35, 40 minutes, and he'll be having his own little segment. But right now, Mr. Pelkey, did you sell your house?
Just before we walked in, Eileen texted me and said, call me. So it looks like she's got an offer. At 4:30, she's going to text me and let me know if we pulled it off. So
good. Now we're going to move Gun Sports Radio over to a new house.
Hey,
we'll do the show from there.
I got to keep Mrs. Pelkey happy.
That's not hard to do. She's a sweetheart. So hey, what do you got for us today? You got enough people in here to start.
Isn't this great?
Start our own football team.
In celebration, right, of National Shooting Sports Month,
right?
And so the National Shooting Sports Association that also hosts the SHOT Show in January type of deal. So they have this thing about getting out and, driving your car or shooting your gun, that kind of stuff. So these guys, everyone was nice enough to come today. We got Bill Desy here, and so he's with CCWUSA.com. And so he's going to be talking about some stuff. Of course, Hollywood's here. We got Mr. Dramisi talking about the San Diego County gun owners. My good buddy Lance Reeter, and he's talking today about the charity shoot that we all went to last time that's coming up really quick here. And sidekick Tatiana, and no bullet today, right?
So sorry about that. Our German Shepherd Bullet is at home cleaning guns today.
That's awesome.
And everybody in the room said, really? Can you teach my dog how to treat it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's talk about the shoot here real quick. So March 23rd. So is that like a Thursday? Is it over a weekend this time?
It is. In fact, this will be our 5th annual charity handgun and rifle course for leukemia, and it's always over a weekend. It starts on a Friday, and people have the option of coming out for 2 days, 3 days, or the full 4 days. And so if they come out for 2 days, it's Friday, Saturday, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Where do you hold this event?
We hold this event at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute near Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the only firearms school in the country big enough to handle the large crowds that we bring every year.
Wow.
And this is the premier civilian firearms training facility in the United States.
Wow. So whoever goes, they're going to get quite an experience.
Oh, my goodness, yes. In fact, Lance Pelkey was there this past year. Bill Desy was here last year, of course, myself and Tatiana. So we've done this 4 years so far. This next one coming up, March 23rd, will be the 5th one. And to tell the listeners a little bit about this facility, it's a 550-acre firearms training resort that is 100% family-oriented training. So this isn't G.I. Joe commandos, drop and give me 50 kind of stuff. This is husbands and wives with their sons and daughters. It's nieces and nephews with aunts and uncles. Last year, our youngest participants, we had an 11-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. Our oldest, we had a 72 and 73-year-old grandmother. We had 7 or 8 San Diego police officers. The year before, we had a Navy SEAL. We've had a SWAT officer. You run the gamut. This is the type of training they provide.
Right.
And that's where, we drive up to beautiful Pahrump, Nevada. Mm-hmm. And we had that nice little windstorm last time. It's all part of the adventure, right?
It's all part of the adventure.
I showed up with a Hellcat and everyone going, you brought that thing here? And I said, well, you can't take the trailer park out of a Challenger, right?
That's right. And and a Mercedes would have never made it.
Oh, they're built for that.
Not your Mercedes.
Well, we put in for good weather, but unfortunately we weren't able to control that first day in that windstorm that we had.
Yeah, and it's a great time. It's just, and you learn a lot. I know it was my first time, and and they take you, right up the deal from safety to, next thing you're shooting prone and shooting all kinds of different ways to Sunday.
Okay, here's the key. You never went before, right?
No.
How bad do you want to go this next year?
I really enjoyed it. So,
see, that's my point.
Yeah.
Because that's the key. You can always tell the success of an event by if they show up the following year and they're excited and they can't wait.
And what a great group of people, too. Gun people are great groups, are great folks anyway, but, it's just, what a great group.
Hey, look,
Lance,
somebody's going to talk.
How many did you have last year?
We had 185 participants this last year.
And how many years have you been doing this?
4 years so far.
Every year it's more people, right?
Exactly.
That tells you how great the event is.
Exactly.
How many on your first one?
Oh, my goodness. We probably had 65 people. Yeah. And but you're right, Joe. And Dave, you're talking about how testimony to how much fun this is. We just grow and grow and grow like crazy. In fact, this year's event was 73% bigger than last year, and we're actually estimating 300 to 320 participants for the 2018 March 23rd event. Because everybody comes home from this event, they tell their family, they tell their friends, they tell their coworkers, and they're bringing a bunch of friends with them. And it's word of mouth, and you're right, it is so much fun, and the growth is a testimony to that.
Is Bill going?
Yes, I'd say the same thing. I had a fantastic time. I'm looking forward to this coming up one, and I'm looking forward to bringing out some friends and some family members or people that haven't been out to Front Sight before or haven't participated in this event.
What did you shoot when you went?
I shot the little M&P shield.
Oh, you shot the shield the whole time? Our buddy and a good listener, Mark Spector, he's probably listening now, big 6'7" guy, he shot the shield the whole time with his big hands. It was awesome, man.
Where'd your gun go? I don't know. Oh, it's between my fingers.
Look like a baseball mitt.
So, well, just for someone that hasn't gone, because I work 7 days a week, where do you stay? Do you guys camp out in tents?
No, there is a camping area right outside the resort that some people stay in motorhomes and tents. That's certainly an option. But most of us stay in the town of Pahrump, which is just 12 miles down the road.
Right.
The Firearms Resort is about 40 minutes from Las Vegas, and some people actually stay there if they have some points on timeshares and things like that. But the majority of us, we stay in the town of Pahrump. It's 25,000, 35,000 people. It's got all the hotels and restaurants we need.
Sure. Yeah.
And Spring Mountain's right there, too.
I know right where it's at,
man. And so it's right across the street from it and down about 8 miles.
I know exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And don't forget, as fun as it is, as great as it is, that facility and meeting all the people, like-minded people, you're raising money for a very good event.
Talk about the cause.
Absolutely. We're raising money for leukemia, and the money actually goes to a foundation called Be the Match Foundation, and that foundation runs the bone marrow registry for the United States. So everybody that has leukemia or lymphoma or other blood cancers that needs a bone marrow transplant, this is the foundation that provides those transplants. And they also help fund 254 research studies to try to find cures for leukemia and lymphoma and other blood cancers. That's where all the money goes. And the beautiful thing about this charity event is that we have zero overhead. All the hundreds of hours of time that goes into this from myself and Tatiana is volunteered. We do a big raffle at the event. We gave away 7 brand new handguns, 2 Remington tactical shotguns, a beautiful 6.5 Creedmoor precision rifle, 7,500 rounds of ammo we raffled off at this event. It was all donated. So every single penny that goes into this event goes to help save lives. There's zero overhead with this charity event.
Do you do any screening at the event for bone marrow?
That's a very good question because Tatiana is actually working with the Be the Match Foundation, and she's been going through training to become a screening counselor to be able to do, and it's a cheek swab to get into it,
right? And
that they get you into the database, and there's a medical questionnaire that's filled out, and so a really good question because Tatiana spearheaded that, and to become a counselor that can do that at the event.
Well, once she becomes a counselor, then we'll have her talk on air. But until then, we'll give her a break. Because she laughs well, but she's not talking well.
We'll rest her voice.
Well, I mean, hopefully everybody in the room has gone in and done their swab. I know I've done mine.
I have
because I've got good friends that are they're in dire need and you never know. I mean, the gift of life. I mean, I don't think that there's a better gift out there to give, and I think that's huge. Is there any story behind leukemia? Were you affected by somebody in the family?
Yeah, I had someone. I had a dear person that I lost to leukemia 4 years ago, and I don't know a lot of things, Dave, but I do know shooting, and so I wanted to do something that would help save lives.
Sure.
And so I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna put together a firearms event to raise money for leukemia. The first year we raised $5,200, had a lot of fun. Everybody said, Lance, this was so much fun. I can't wait to bring friends and let's do it again next year. And so it's just kind of grown into its own entity, and I just feed it and it grows. And this last spring we raised $27,600 for leukemia. Whoa. In fact, Dave, if you tell people that you raised $27,600 for leukemia this year, they're like, hey, that's awesome. If you told them you did it in a month, they're like, really? Dave, we did that in one weekend.
I know. That
$27,600 for
Goosebumps. All right, hey, we're going to take a quick break, if I can get through that. And when we come back, we got Joe Dramisi on. How do you say that name?
We got Joe Dramisi right here. We're going to have John Dillon, I think.
I don't know. It says right here.
Did I screw that up?
No. Oh, no, that was first time. We didn't let him talk.
Look, he's been sitting here the whole time.
I know, but he did such a nice job.
We'll share down the road.
You are not sharing anything. When it comes to microphones, you are not sharing. No, all kidding aside, folks, Gun Sports Radio. We'll be right back. We got a whole lot more right here on AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. And Triton Gunsmithing is our sponsor. If you have a desire or a need for gunsmithing, these guys are phenomenal. They also are the hunting center. They do classes for hunters of all ages. The hunting season is up and running. I have talked to Juan, and we're going to start seeing if he can either call in or start talking about that as well. But right now, we've got John Dillon on the line. John, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
Not doing
wonderful.
Bad. So we're not going to ask you if you have any good news. We're just going to say, how you doing?
I have a little bit of good news, I guess. It's the silver lining. It's more of a confirmation of what we've all been saying for the last couple months. But last week, the California Firearms Application Reporting System, or CFARS, this is the website that is supposed to be used to register all your assault weapons. Mm-hmm. So last week, that actually went live. The DOJ, 8 months late, they finally got their website on the books and out there. And the silver lining in that is, like we've said multiple times on this show, it crashed the first day. And I'm not even certain it's back up yet, and that was a few days ago. So like we've been saying, 8 months late, and first day it's out, it crashes because it was not done properly. So that just kind of shows you just the lack of thought that went into every aspect of these new gun laws.
Well, it's almost, what are you going to do? I mean, they don't care. It's no big deal to them.
The whole thing was a knee-jerk reaction anyway. So, I mean, there was no forethought before they started this whole thing.
And I just pulled it up, and it looks like it's working.
So, did you get it to work?
I got it to work, yeah. At least, but I haven't done anything else.
Well, you're going to crash it if you have to register all your stuff.
It's like when you try and get an opening day at the Del Mar races, at the horse races, and everyone tries to get that, and it crashes it too. So that's the state of California.
All right,
so there's probably a lot of people that wanted to, abide by the new laws and register the firearms, and having to wait 8 months past the time you thought you were going to be able to register everything, it will have an effect. A lot of people want to jump on it right away.
Jeez, yeah. Well, that's kind of what they were supposed to do, but they just didn't support it. So, what's the bad news?
Bad news is, these laws are still in effect, and people are going to have to make the choice to either change their guns configurations, or they're going to have to register them if they want to stay compliant within the law. I will also remind people the deadline to register for these assault weapons, that was actually pushed back and changed because of the extreme delay. So the new deadline to register your assault weapons is July 1st, 2018. So you have to have them registered before that date.
Okay, and what guns do you have to register again?
These are all semi-automatic rifles generally, but does involve some other guns that use the bullet button or magazine locks. So any gun that you bought that had a bullet button on it or some type of magazine lock, to just state this generally, they're now considered assault weapons under the law, and you're going to have to register those by July 1st, 2018 of next year.
Yeah, so basically any center-fired rifle, semi-automatic, that has either a detachable magazine plus, pistol grip, adjustable stock, flash suppressor, or a vertical foregrip, if you have any one of those things and a detachable magazine, you got to register it as an assault weapon.
Okay, now when you register it, this will be the fun question. Is there a fee to register it? There better not be.
Oh, there definitely is a fee to register your weapon. I believe last time, was it $50? I want to say.
What? I think it's 19.
19 to it. Okay, yeah.
I
might be confusing the ammunition.
The ammunition one-time background check, I think, is going to be 50.
There you go.
What?
Yeah, so, obviously you're still going to have to pay a fee, and if you have multiple guns that meet the new definition of assault weapon, $19 can add up pretty quickly.
Well, Mr. Hollywood over here, Joe's dad, what are you going to do?
I can't buy a new house if I sell my old house. I got to pay all the fees on these
all the fees.
lowers I have and everything else. Yikes.
But I do have a question that came through the website that I wanted to answer because it's a question that I think provides a lot of confusion for people in this state. Let's see, Jim from Vista, he wrote in and says that he has a friend that he wants to buy a handgun from, and he went and looked on the California roster of certified handguns, and that gun wasn't listed. And he wants to know, is this illegal to purchase? Am I allowed to purchase it? And what do I need to do to purchase it if I'm even able to? So basically what Jim's referring to is in California, we have the California roster of certified handguns for sale. And that is a ever decreasing list of firearms that FFL dealers and gun shops are allowed to sell to people within the state of California. Now, this handgun roster doesn't apply to people doing private party transfers. Basically, Jim and his friend, they want to make a gun purchase. The gun that, the handgun that Jim's trying to purchase, it doesn't have to be listed on the roster. Only guns that are being sold from stores and licensed dealers to the individual within the state need to be listed. Private party transfers are exempt. Jim's still going to need to go to the gun shop, do the background check, pay his buddy, and wait 10 days. All those same regulations and proof of identity and residence are still required. But that private party sale handgun, it does not need to be on the roster.
And if I can add to that, too, just based on questions I get from customers, you can buy as many as you would like to. So the 30-day, the one handgun in 30 days does not apply to person-to-person transfers, so you can buy as many as you want. However, you can only sell 5 a year.
Yeah, so if you're selling off a collection or you want to get rid of some of the guns, maybe your collection got a little too big and your wife got upset, I don't know.
Or your husband.
Yeah, there you go. So
you can
sell these guns. If you want to make one giant sale of your whole collection, it doesn't matter how many guns you have. That counts as one sale. Right. But if you were to sell off, try to sell off 6 guns throughout the year, 6 handguns throughout the year, you're generally not supposed to go over 5 sales of a handgun in a year in California. Private party sales.
Yeah, 5 transactions. You could have 3 guns on one transaction, but you can only do 5 transactions a year.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's all those little technicalities and restrictions that people really don't know that are out there, but they exist, and the DOJ pays attention to them.
Yeah, and they're very arbitrary. None of them really make sense.
Well, yeah, just in general, the roster of certified handguns for sale, it was apparently originally put into place to make sure that the guns and handguns that were being sold in California were safe to use, and they wouldn't just randomly fire a bullet when someone dropped it or just was holding it.
Sure.
It was it was a reaction to a lot of media concerning what they called back in the day Saturday night special guns. So those really cheaply made, poor metal quality guns that were, you could buy for $50 to $150. And, the legislature, they got a hold of that idea of the Saturday night special, and they decided they needed to make a list of safe guns that would be allowed to be sold in California. These days, there's a lot of things that are about the roster that has nothing to do with safety. I mean, they restrict the color of the gun. So if you have a blue Colt that's on the roster, you're good. If that same gun is silver or stainless steel, that won't be allowed to be sold in California. Yeah. So it's very arbitrary how they classify a safe and unsafe gun.
Yeah, they're just using to take our rights away if they can. That's all.
Yeah.
So what's your website, my friend, if they want to get a hold of you?
Yeah, it's cafirearmslaw.com.
Wonderful.
CaliforniaFirearmsLaw.com. Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, their law firm name. We're in Carlsbad, San Diego. Our office line is 760-431-9501. Any and all firearms-related issues, we can help you out.
And it's a good place to get questions answered. And if John likes your question, then, of course, he'll put that on air as well. So don't feel uncomfortable by asking these kinds of questions, because that's what John loves to do, is educate.
Got it. Yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to California gun law.
No, because if you make a mistake, incarceration could be at the other end of your mistake. And nobody wants to be incarcerated. No, trust me, folks. Nobody wants to do that. All right, buddy. Well, hey, I want to thank you again for taking time out of your Sunday afternoon, and look forward to talking to you down the road.
All right, guys.
Thanks, John.
All right.
See you, buddy.
Take care, man. All right, bye. So let's go ahead. And just take a break now, Tim, and then when we come back, we've got a whole lot more. Oh, we got Hollywood. And by the way, you can listen to us, AM 1170, The Answer app, or go to our website, download it, Facebook, iHeartRadio. It's all right there. All you need to do is jump on board. Also, we want to thank Zombie Industries for their bleeding targets. You got to check these things out, folks. www.zombieindustries.com, zombieindustries.com.
That's awesome.
AM 1170. The Answer. KCBQ.
Hey, welcome back. Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave.
I'm Lance.
He is anyway. And we've got the whole crew in today. And this segment is brought to you by the good folks at Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue. Family owned and operated. It's the Nordstroms of gun ranges. If you don't believe it, go check it out. Go to gunrangesandiego.com for classes, training, gun specials. You name it, it's there 7 days a week. You want to put a party together, you want to motivate your employees, maybe you want to do a bachelorette party or a bachelor party, all can be obtained at Gun Range San Diego. So go to gunrangesandiego.com and join up. They've got all kinds of programs. You can get into just all these different, and the higher up you go as far as the club ownership, the more things that are done for you. So check it out at gunrangesandiego.com. gunrangesandiego.com. All right, bud, how you doing?
We're doing good. We're just we're staying busy over there, having a good time, and we just had a 17-person bachelor party come through over the weekend.
Oh boy,
it was super fun. Had a great time, and but yeah, like you said, if you wanted, we have a I don't know if it's okay to say it over air or not, but it rhymes with Walcom. They have a corporate deal over there where we give them a bit
what's he trying to say?
They do
Qualcomm?
Yeah, Qualcomm.
You can say Qualcomm.
Yeah, they have a corporate.
That's not a dirty word.
All right, good to go. But they have we do corporate pricing for those guys for memberships and that kind of thing. So they come and do team events over there all the time. Sure. And so yeah, any type of group event, come on out. And first-time shooters, we specialize in those, and we love first-time shooters. It's a lot of fun to take somebody who they come in and they're nervous and they're not sure, and they leave and they're excited and they're ready to come back, and that makes it a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, that's like what Reeter does. The same thing, you drag them out to the desert, spend a few days, come back, can't wait to go again.
You got it, and also
camp for adults,
and you got ATF night coming up.
Yes, we do. We have the Young Republicans coming up. I think we have the Young Republicans coming up on the 19th, I think. their ATF night, or what I call it, the FAT night, firearms, alcohol, and tobacco.
Yeah, they have a good time.
Yeah, because you got to get the firearms out of the way before you start with the alcohol and tobacco.
Yeah,
thank you.
And but yeah, they're going to come by. It's $35 if you're a member of the Young Republicans. It's $45 if you're not. I encourage you to come out. I was a mentor last year. I get to be a mentor this year, and it's a lot of fun. People come in who, a lot of them never shot before, and they shoot. They get one-on-one mentorship with the firearms, and we're going to have several. You're going to have rifles, pistols, revolvers, lever action, semi-autos. We're going to have tons of different firearms out there. You get to come in and shoot. You get a mentor that gives you some one-on-one instruction. And after you get all amped up doing that, then we're going to go over to the 94th Aero Squadron and do some alcohol and cigars.
There you go. There's the other half.
There, exactly. It's ATF night. We say it all the time. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms should be a convenience store, not a form of government.
I like that. That does sound good. I can see exactly where you're coming down the road with that one. But so I think that's I was wondering about this actually driving up here. That do we have an area of youth that stopped being introduced to guns and ammo? Because when I was a kid, I got introduced when I was little, and I learned all the way up. And I know, but did we just lose a generation? Of training from parents.
I don't know about an entire generation. I don't know about an entire generation, but I think there was a gap there for a while. But we're back. We're back.
I think we're coming back stronger.
We definitely are, because the youth, and and I'm kind of an old guy, but what I can say, not in this room.
Show me your AARP card. Show me your AARP card. Go ahead, I dare you. Well, what's the average age? What's the average age of somebody coming into Gun Range San Diego? Because when I walk in there, it's late 20s, early 30s.
Late 20s, early 30s. Is probably the average age, and we get tons of parents bringing their
kids,
their teenage kids in to shoot, and I think we're coming full circle on a lot of things. Where we're getting back to family values, we're getting back to the core family and that kind of thing. They want to shoot together, they want to learn together.
Mm-hmm.
So even some of those mid to late 30 parents who really weren't into guns at all, their children are, and so now they're coming in, they're learning together. I've seen a lot of mother son and father daughter people coming in to get instruction from some of our instructors. We got Wendy from San Diego County Gun Owners is one of our instructors. We have Manny, who is former Chula Vista SWAT, is one of our instructors. And I see a lot of that mother son and father daughter coming in to do that, and it warms your heart, to be honest with you, without trying to sound too cheesy.
No, and you have it right, mother son, father daughter.
Absolutely.
Like back with old Bill Cosby, you say you give your kid a football, you teach him everything there is to know about sports. He gets his first touchdown on TV. Who's he think?
His mom.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
So what do you got going? You got any specials going on there? Are they renting you for $1? I mean, what's going on?
You can get, if you want personal one-on-one instruction with Hollywood, you come in and let them know, and I'll go out there and I'll stand with you for an hour and shoot.
No kidding.
And have fun.
How cool is that?
We'll have a good time.
Unless you're under your exploder.
No, the exploder's running now.
Okay, good.
Got your kitty cats in there?
We were supposed to shoot on Thursday, but he was under his exploder.
I was under my exploder.
Yeah, we're going to use that. What was that, Keltec?
The Keltec KSG, which is on sale right now for $770.
And you didn't get to shoot because you were playing with your car.
Yeah, I was trying to, so I can.
This is motorcycle weather, dude.
I do ride, but I tell you, it's hard to carry a rifle to the range on a motorcycle. So I needed to get my truck running.
Can't you get that thing on the side of your horse? that just slides there.
I'm sure the San Diego County Sheriff's Department would love to see me coming down the highway in that thing.
Yeah,
as long as you got your helmet on, you're okay.
Exactly.
So you guys going to shoot that next week?
Yeah, we're going to shoot that next week, and like I said, we got the Young Republicans coming up, which is kind of co-sponsored by San Diego County Gun Owners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I guess.
Hi, guys. Look, Joe's
here.
Yeah, one of the bad things about this is it's so much fun just sitting here watching all the stuff that's going on.
All this insanity.
Sometimes you get a little bit too quiet back here.
We say it all the time. I can't wait to get this thing on video because I think we have more fun in our breaks than we do.
Well, that's
on the air.
Yeah, that's typical. Well, so what's going on with San Diego County gun owners? We'll steal some of Hollywood's air.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll take a little bit of his time. Before I go with that, though, being one of the two people in the room that has not been to Lance's charity shoot.
Who's the other one?
You.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is me.
You, baby.
I guess we have a challenge ahead of us, don't we, my friend?
Well, yeah, I'm ahead of you because I have blocked out my time for next year in March.
I'd have to convince KUSI into letting me leave. I mean, they don't pay me, so I probably could leave.
You got a puppy mill.
Yeah, I was going to say you got to check the Rottweiler.
Stop.
You got to check the Rottweiler birthing cycle.
Yeah, well, now we're doing dachshunds.
Dachshunds. Oh, sorry.
Was it 9 of them hooked up to that poor mama?
8. But they're doing extremely. It's like plug and play.
Yeah.
You just throw them down there, and they suck right onto those. Man, I'm telling you, it's good to go. But they make it
down that road.
Yeah,
see, you get right on the dogs here.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It always goes to the dogs. That's another story.
That's how this goes right to the dogs.
So,
well, Joe, we're glad you're finally going to make it. I know you've been wanting to come out to the charity event for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so the listeners know how to get some more information on this charity event. This will be our 5th one. www.charitycourse.gives. We have the date, the when, where, how, and why. Everything's on the website.
.gives. I like that.
Yeah, it's www.charitycourse.gives.
I wish we could figure out a way to put a motorcycle or a car show attached to that so I can get him on TV.
Well, we can make that happen.
We could because he'll tell you what KUSI can do.
Yeah,
for
we
you.
can make that happen. We can get Alone and Unafraid attached to this thing, and we can get.
We just got to figure out. Yeah. Because we did an event for Hollywood down at the High Dive, and that place was. I'm not going to take all the credit, but I'm going to take a chunk of it. From 12 to 8 o'clock at night, that place was packed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I think we need to figure because let's face it, when you go to a TV station and say you want to talk about gun ownership, they kind of look at you like, "What are you trying? We can't do that."
Yeah,
but we got to figure out a way to do it. We'll figure out a way.
Absolutely.
So back to San Diego County gun owners.
So, yeah, back to that. And what I'd started to say is I'd finally gotten out the front sight for the first time a couple of months ago, and it was a great experience, and wrote a blog piece about it. So anybody that that checks out our blog at San Diego County Gun Owners can read about my experience out there, too. But, following in John Dillon's vein there with answering questions about what's going on with San Diego County gun owners, there's a couple of questions I get all the time from people, and one of them is, what can I do when they get involved with us? And there's a couple of really simple, easy things you can do. And as Michael Schwartz always says, membership is everything for us. The more people we have, the more funds we have, the more influence we have, and it helps everything. And so what people can do is bring new people into the organization. If everybody got one person each year, we're over 800 people now, we'd have 1,600 next year if nothing else happened. And I was thinking about that yesterday. I was at a pool party with some friends. It's a group of people that I'd worked with a while ago, and we see each other once a year at this pool party. And I was talking to one of the guys, and we started talking about shooting, and I didn't even realize he was a gun owner. And we started talking about shooting. I explained what we were doing with San Diego County gun owners was, and I urged him to check it out and hopefully join us. And I got a text from Michael today saying that Brian Berthod had joined us, and I thought, how cool! It was just from talking to a person. And the other thing too is Brian shoots regularly at the gun range San Diego. So next time he comes in there, if Hollywood could hook him up with one of those nice Henry repeating rifles or something.
Sure.
We'll definitely take care of them for sure. We love Gun Range San Diego. Matter of fact, when we had our big sale back on July 15th, we made sure San Diego County gun owners was out there.
I thought you said you love Gun Range San Diego. I said, well, I bet you do.
Well, San Diego County gun owners.
I know.
And we're a 10 ring sponsor, and we every chance we get, every event we have, we love to have a representative from San Diego County gun owners to help with that membership drive, because you're absolutely right, Joe. There's power in numbers, and you sit at home and you feel like you don't have a voice. You might feel like your vote doesn't count. You feel like the government's stepping on you, and and not hearing what you got to say. But when you get, 200, 300, 800, 1,600 people together, your voice gets a lot louder. And that's what it's all about. It's about numbers. And we got to, each of us do our part to tell somebody else to join the club, become a part so that one voice becomes very, very loud.
And it's, and the other thing too is it's little pieces. I mean, everybody knows one person. If everybody did one person here, a shooting buddy, a relative, a friend, it's not that hard. I mean, we had a simple conversation. Yes, there were a number of beers involved in it, but it was just a conversation about shooting and explaining what it is. And, Brian jumped right on it. And it's that easy.
I'm talking to my news director at KUSI, and he turns out to be a gun enthusiast. I would have never bet that on a minute. In fact, he was supposed to come down and see you about a shotgun.
Yeah, we talked on the phone, and then I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he'll probably get around to it. But, I mean, because you never know. And I'm like you guys. We all need to talk about it. We all like Lance is wearing a San Diego County gun owner shirt. We need to let people know. Because once they get into your event out at Pahrump, Nevada, okay, it's a charity. That's great. But there's a lot more to it besides a charity. A lot of learning comes out of it. I mean, Lance came back. He didn't stop talking about it. And I think that's what happens when you go. You can't help but stop talking about it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Bill Desy is on the line. He's been chewing on the desk now for about 10 minutes. He's got teeth marks and what have you. But we still love him. This segment is brought to you partially by Zombie Industries, home of the famous Zombie Target. Skeet holding zombie targets and other fun targets. They got all kinds of targets, but if you like targets that bleed, www.zombieindustries.com, zombieindustry.com.
AM 1170, The Answer, KCBQ.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio. And this segment is brought to you by Trident Gunsmithing. If you need your gun worked on, or if you're a hunter, they have all kinds of specials on hunting guns and all forms of paraphernalia. They got great classes. You can sign up now. Go to TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com. They also sell weapons and clothing. And if you've seen some of these really cool looks like what the heck is Starbucks shirts, but it says guns and coffee. They got those too. I think you guys have them down at Gun Range San Diego too.
Gun Range San Diego, and then over at Trident we have a ton
of alone and half scared.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's go to Mr. Desy. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good.
I just want to do a quick intro because I met Bill, Michael Schwartz, Executive Director, San Diego County Gun Owners. When I was looking at taking a concealed carry class, he told me about Bill, and so I took his class and had a terrific time. And then Bill asked me to stay over for that afternoon, and I saw the local folks that were actually getting the local concealed carry and going through that process. That was interesting. And from there, I've been out to Range and Alpine with Bill for some advanced training, and boy, I needed some help with trigger pull and that kind of stuff. So Bill's just a terrific guy here in San Diego. He does personal training. He does a bunch of classes and stuff. And I thought, in the spirit of August being, National Shooting Sports Month, get them out and use them. I appreciate you coming down to the studio, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the kind words. We do a lot of training as far as CCW permits. Most of the permits that people get here in San Diego are for business purposes if they're getting a California concealed carry permit. But we see a lot more of the multi-state permits, either Arizona or Florida, or the folks that are getting an out-of-state permit. And that's primarily for traveling. If you're traveling outside of California, one permit, like from Arizona, is good for 30 states. So we get a lot of people getting those permits as well.
So things don't look well in California?
Well, it depends. The biggest thing we've got going for us right here is San Diego County gun owners, because they're actively working on changing laws, changing people that are getting elected, positively influencing the gun community to where instead of having a bunch of different little splinter groups that just kind of sit around and complain, they're actively doing things to change the politics here in San Diego County and here in California.
Right. And that's so important because, without good quality information, nothing will get done.
Very true. And I mean, the other thing that I really like about what I do is just teaching firearm safety, teaching gun classes, being able to, same thing they do at Gun Range San Diego, bringing out people that have limited or no formal training and showing them the difference between what they can do with their equipment if they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If they learn some basic shooting fundamentals, they learn and practice the safety rules, the results are much better. It's almost like, for me, playing golf. The results aren't so good, so I don't play golf.
Exactly.
But when I go shooting, if the results are good, I'm more likely to go shooting. I can find it's a very enjoyable activity, whether it's for defensive purposes or sporting or recreation or whatever you want to shoot for. It just becomes a real positive experience.
And shooting, you always get better. In golf, you don't. Grab that.
Well, people come into Gun Range San Diego and they say, I'm looking for a firearm and this is my budget. So first thing I do is I cut that budget in half to show them what guns are available. Mm-hmm. Because if you got $1,000 budget, buy a $500 gun and put $500 into training because you can have the greatest gun ever. But if you aren't trained, you don't have the real training to use it, then you might as well have a stapler or a paperweight.
Exactly. And so let me ask you this, Bill. How often do you have classes? Do you do it as people sign up, or do you have a regular schedule?
I have a pretty regular schedule. Our next multi-state class is on the 11th, this coming Friday from 8 to noon over at the American Shooting Center. And then after that, look at my calendar here, we've got a defensive class, which is a class that Lance did as well, where you're out on the range, doing a lot more movement. You can shoot from different angles, shoot at reactive targets, paper and steel targets. Really gets people out of the box range mentality. That works out really well. We have that coming up on Sunday the 13th.
Got any zombie targets?
We will.
He's going to. He's stopping by my office. Yeah, he's going to do it.
We'll have a bleeding zombie target there. We usually do that in October for Halloween.
Cool.
But
we're not going to wait.
We're not going to wait for that.
We're going to do it every week.
There you go.
And then I've got another event coming up at the 511 store in Oceanside on August 20th. We've got a gun defense seminar, which is basically taking Krav Maga as an Israeli self-defense system and implementing some of their weapon defense techniques against firearms and other weapons. And that's along with Michael Milhalkin from MMA Academy. He'll be hosting that event with us.
And what's your website?
My website is CCWUSA.com.
Gotcha. Good.
Now, for these classes, is there a fee?
Yes. The typical cost for one of the classes, now I'm giving away my discount for
well, you don't have to. I mean, you can have them send an email to you, and then you can give them the better deal on the email.
There you go. So
let's not give out the discounted prices because let's the same thing with that Gun Range. He talks all the time, so that'll never work.
Well, we're just running a special for August if you sign up for one of our August classes.
Okay.
And the best way to sign up is just go to the website.
Yeah, go to the website.
CCWUSA.com.
And maybe we'll have Tatiana and Lance up there shooting again, and
Absolutely.
we'll go again with you. We were up there that time, right?
Absolutely.
You need more training?
Every day.
Definitely.
And I can tell you, I'm a student of the gun all the time. I love training. I've taken probably 6 or 8 courses from Bill Desy, and I love doing it. There's nothing like running through drills and having an instructor watching you, fine-tuning you, and building your skill set. You
learn something new every time.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Going to the range and popping holes in your target, is one thing, but training with an instructor like Bill Desy or some of the classes they have at the Gun Range San Diego, it's just amazing.
Nothing is more important behind the gun than confidence. And that's what guys come in and goes, I'm looking for a gun for my wife. What gun should I buy my wife? I'm like, well, the gun with which she has the most confidence. That's the one. So bring her in, do some rentals, find different guns, but most of all, get training.
Don't you love it when men try to buy things for women?
Oh, my goodness.
They have not figured it out
yet.
It's
absolutely silly.
They have the ability. So Bill, do you keep your classes pretty small? So that you have your in-depth training, or is it a pretty unlimited class?
So it kind of depends. The classroom classes where we're just sitting in the classroom going over gun safety, weapon handling, shooting fundamentals, use of force laws, and legal issues. I think my favorite part of that class is the donuts. But I know a lot of the students really enjoy they enjoy a lot of the stories and a lot of the different things that we cover. But that's a classroom class. We'll have 20 people in that class typically. with the range classes, I try to keep them a little bit smaller, maybe 6 to 12.
Perfect.
Just so, one, if I had, a dozen extra assistant instructors on the line with me, or a lot of our range safety officers, it'd be a little bit different. But typically, it's me and maybe one coach or one assistant instructor, and we try to run smaller groups so that you do get more one-on-one attention.
And, so again, in the spirit of, August is, Shooting Sports Month. So I appreciate Bill coming out, CCWUSA.com. We got here at the Gun Range San Diego, another great place for people to buy guns and go out to the range. And Joe Dramisi's here, San Diego County Gun Owners, a great way to get involved. Our good friend Lance Reeter and Tatiana from the shootershangout.com. What a great place. Mm-hmm. And, it's a lot of fun. We're all here to promote the sport. We appreciate you all coming down today.
So I do have to ask you, what if I don't like crowds and I want private training?
I do a lot of one-on-one training. You're not the only person that doesn't like to shoot with other people.
Some people are a little intimidated. Yeah. I don't want you to see me not hit the target.
You'd be surprised.
I'd never go with him. I'd never go with him. They'd be the worst to go with.
I'll tell you, law enforcement and military, a lot of times, especially if they're in any kind of a special operations capacity, they don't want anybody to see if they're doing anything incorrectly or if they're if they need to improve to meet their qualification or get their top score.
So you do one-on-one.
I do a lot of one-on-one training, both indoors and outdoors.
Gotcha. Well, that's again, a lot of people are intimidated, by firearms. And then to not only be intimidated, but then to go look stupid on top of being intimidated, that's never good. So it's always nice to know. And I'm sure you would do like a husband, wife, or if they want to do a little family.
We get a lot of families. I'll get a husband, wife, and kids. And what Hollywood here said about confidence is true. But what I like to say is that competence breeds confidence. And by developing that confidence.
That word's too big for him. You got to write that one down.
As soon as that person really develops some competence with their firearm, their confidence goes sometimes too far, but not too high. Good. But it really builds the confidence in not only do they know how to safely operate the gun, but they can hit a target at a specific distance and they can repeat it over and over again. And
then their eyes light up when they hit it more than once.
Yep.
I go, look, I hit the target twice. Woo-hoo. Well, again, and Hollywood, and Reeter and everybody. I mean, training. Because the more you train, the better you get. The better you get, the more you train.
Get them out and use them.
Yeah.
And, I just point out, too, that the training can be a lot of fun, too.
Sure.
For instance, shooting competitive stuff. I shoot USPSA matches, action pistol matches, twice a month. And we're doing exactly the same kind of stuff that Bill and everyone was talking about, where you're shooting at different angles, you're moving and shooting. And again, it just gives you... the better you get with the gun, it helps you run the gun better, and it's just a confidence builder.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that's another show in the bag. We want to thank Gun Range San Diego. We want to thank Triton Gunsmithing, and we definitely want to thank John Dillon and all of his support, along with the zombie guys. It's all good. We'll see you all next week. Don't forget, San Diego County Gun Owners.com, San Diego County Gun Owners.com.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.